A strand of hair quietly swapped into a wedding gift bag where no one was ever supposed to notice it. That's the detail this Rabbit News Hallyu deep dive is built around, because it might be the smallest prop in Chinese period drama this year, and also the most loaded. Here's what actually happens in the scene. In this second too much, Zhang Linghe's character, Murong Qingyi, watches the woman he loves prepare to marry his own older brother. He doesn't object. He doesn't storm the ceremony. In front of everyone, he says, calmly, that he's accepted it. Then, alone, completely out of frame, he opens the wedding blessing bag meant for the bride and swaps its contents for a lock of his own hair. That's the entire action. No dialogue explaining it. No reaction shot confirming anyone in the story even notices. And that restraint is exactly why it's worth pausing on, because in the historical vocabulary the drama is drawing from, tying two people's hair together was itself a marriage gesture, a symbol of growing old side by side. By slipping his own hair into that bag, Murong Qingyi completes a version of that ritual entirely by himself, unseen, for a marriage he will never actually be part of. It's a one-person wedding vow, hidden inside somebody else's wedding. Most recaps clipped this as a heartbreak beat and moved on, and on the surface, that's a fair read. It plays like familiar unrequited love material. But there's a reason clips of this specific moment, and not the dozen other emotional scenes in that same episode, are the ones circulating under a hashtag that translates roughly to Zhang Linghe swaps his hair into the wedding blessing bag. The internet didn't gravitate toward the loudest scene in the episode. It gravitated toward the quietest one. That's usually worth sitting with. But the detail that actually reframes this scene isn't in the wedding bag at all, it's in how deliberately restrained this character is written to be everywhere else. Look at how Murong Qingyi behaved elsewhere in the same arc. Earlier in the story, he's the one who physically carries Ren Susu, the woman marrying his brother, on his back to her own wedding, still in her full bridal outfit. Read that plainly, and it sounds almost absurd, the man who loves her personally delivering her to the altar. But set next to the hair swap scene, a pattern starts to form. This isn't a character who competes, confronts, or sabotages anything. Every gesture he makes reads as an act of service disguised as heartbreak. He doesn't fight for her. He facilitates her marriage to someone else, while quietly making sure some piece of himself stays attached to it forever. Performance-wise, that's a difficult thing to sell without dialogue to lean on. According to coverage of the role, Zhang Linghe conveys the character's built-up resentment and quiet stubbornness almost entirely through small shifts in his eyes and hands, restraint, obsession, and heartbreak layered on top of each other in the same expression. That's a harder note to hit than a shouted confession, and it's a specific, deliberate writing and performance choice, not incidental melodrama. Now here's where it moves past a single character arc. On July 23, at a live drama club fan event promoting the show, Zhang Linghe appeared in a black suit and reenacted moments from these same scenes alongside Wang Churan, who plays Ren Susu, a tango sequence, and a princess-style carry that echoed the back carry from the drama itself. On its own, that's a standard promotional appearance, actors performing choreography from their own show for a live audience. Set next to the wedding bag scene, it does something a little different. It extends a private, unseen gesture from the fiction into a public, performed one. The show's promotion isn't just referencing the plot. It's restaging the exact emotional beat that was already circulating online, in front of a live audience, in real time. That's not something you can prove with an internal marketing memo none of us have access to. But it is an observable pattern, and one worth naming plainly rather than dismissing as coincidence. Fan reactions have picked up on the same tension. Online, the wedding bag scene has been nicknamed something that roughly translates to fully automatic self-comfort, a joking shorthand for a character who processes heartbreak entirely alone, without asking anyone to witness it. That label matters, because it shows international and domestic audiences converging on the same reading of the character independently of each other, not a tragic rival plotting revenge, but someone quietly rewriting the traditional bitter second lead role into something more restrained and, frankly, more uncomfortable to watch. There's also a community management angle worth flagging. A nickname like that doesn't emerge from a marketing meeting. It emerges from thousands of individual viewers landing on the same joke independently, then reinforcing it until it becomes shorthand for the whole character. Once a fandom has its own internal vocabulary for a moment, that moment stops needing official promotion to keep spreading. It becomes self-sustaining, which is a very different kind of momentum than a studio-bought trending slot, and considerably harder for any single production team to manufacture on command. So here's the part that reframes the whole story. This second Too Much did not launch well. Early reviews were rough, with plenty of criticism aimed at an AI-generated opening sequence and heavy-handed filters, the kind of technical complaints that usually sink a show's momentum in its first week. On Douban, it opened around a 5.1, a score that typically signals a quiet, forgettable run. Instead, the opposite happened. As the revenge plotline unfolded and the show leaned into more taboo family dynamics, a man in love with the woman about to become his sister-in-law, public sentiment reversed hard enough that the drama spent multiple consecutive days leading platform popularity charts, becoming one of the most talked-about titles of the summer season. That kind of reputation flip rarely comes from plot mechanics alone. Plenty of dramas have twisty revenge arcs and forbidden family dynamics that never recover from a rough opening week. What usually turns a slow starter into a trending title is a moment audiences can extract, clip, and pass around without needing 20 episodes of context behind it, something that reads as complete on its own. The Wedding Bag scene does exactly that. It doesn't need 3 episodes of setup to land emotionally. A man quietly grieving in a way no one in the story is allowed to witness, that's a self-contained piece of performance, built for a clip economy where attention spans reward compression, not exposition. That's really the industry story sitting underneath the fanservice story. Chinese period drama has spent years leaning on grand declarations, the shouted confession, the rooftop rescue, the tearful reunion at the gate. What's landing with international audiences here runs closer to the opposite, an actor communicating devastation through stillness, through a barely there shift in the eyes, through a gesture nobody inside the scene is even meant to witness. That's a harder note to write, harder to direct, and considerably harder to perform than a shouting match. When it works, though, it travels, across platforms, across language barriers, across audiences who've never watched a single other episode of the show. It also says something about how these dramas get marketed internationally now. The gap between what happens on screen and what happens at a fan event used to feel much wider than this. That gap is closing on purpose. A moment that works in fiction gets reperformed in reality within days, feeding the same hashtag and extending the same emotional beat well past the runtime of the actual episode. Whether that's a calculated call from the production team or simply good instincts from the actors themselves isn't something the available material confirms, but the effect on visibility is measurable either way, and it's a pattern worth watching as more C-dramas compete for attention outside their home market. Zoom out further and this fits a broader shift in how Chinese language dramas are trying to travel. Streaming platforms competing for international eyeballs can't rely on subtitles alone to carry a 14-hour commitment. They need a moment viewers can screenshot, translate badly, and still understand emotionally within seconds, no cultural footnotes required. A hair tucked into a wedding bag clears that bar in a way a monologue never could. It's culturally specific in its origin and universally readable in its meaning, and that combination is increasingly what separates a regional hit from a title that actually crosses borders. None of this erases the show's rough start. The AI-generated opening drew real criticism, and a 5.1 launch score reflects genuine dissatisfaction, not just an unlucky first impression. What it does suggest is that a single, well-executed moment of restraint can outweigh a shaky premiere, at least long enough to keep a show inside the cultural conversation until the rest of it gets judged on its own terms. If there's a takeaway here, it's this: the loudest scene rarely explains why a show goes viral. Usually it's the quiet one, the prop nobody was supposed to notice, the gesture performed with no audience in the room, the moment where fiction and real life overlap just enough to make you look twice. If you're into entertainment stories that go past the headline, the kind that catch the quiet signals most coverage skips entirely, Rabbit News Hallyu is built exactly for that. Subscribe if you want analysis, not just news.